Hey everyone. So I wanted to show today, so like in the last videos, and often we speak about how usually we're working on Claude to substitute, like use Claude for everything, and slowly substitute Clay on our usage. Now I want to show how actually the two tools can live together and really, at the end of the day, using like each tool's strength. Like Claude is great at some things, but it's not that great at some other things. Clay at the same time is very strong at some things, but it's not great at others. So at the end of the day, the best result is given by a merge of the two. It's not necessarily only one or only the other. Where both are possible, you can run everything in Claude, or you can run everything in Clay. But if you merge the two, you get the best of both worlds. So let's start. We will see like pros, cons, and then use cases. And the use cases are going to be a consequence of what are like the pros and cons of each one, right? Of course, we are speaking about Claude for go-to-market. You can use Claude for many things, but like we are specifically speaking about Claude for go-to-market B2B and Clay for the same purpose. Let's start from the pros, okay? Let's start from the pros of Claude. So Claude constantly update. This is really a great thing that Claude gives that Clay, for example, doesn't. Like in Claude, I can create a skill and commands that basically bring Claude to continuously update on a timely manner. I can decide if, for example, I want it to update on a weekly cadence, bi-weekly, daily, every 3 days. I can decide. So the knowledge that we have, let's say that we are managing multiple clients. Let's say like the knowledge on a client. This can be updated automatically. I don't have to manually do anything. I don't have to really do anything once it's set up once. So the updates are constant. Claude is continuously updated on what's happening on the client, on the project. Unique brain. Like the brain is unique. So when you upload Claude, when you update Claude, when you make sure that when you give Claude knowledge, when Claude learns something, like the learning is central. The learning happens at central level. And anyone in the team can tap into the same knowledge. And that's great. Like in this something that Clay, for example, doesn't do. We cannot really have in Clay the same scenario. Like the knowledge is oftentimes is local. Yes, there are many ways where you can share templates. You can share templates and different configurations, but it's not the same as Claude, where you can configure in a way that like the learning that is done by myself or by David or Aris and my team, like that it's shared to Cheyenne or Judith in the team. Like it's amazing. Like you can change something, you can create a skill, and you can create skills in Claude, and everyone can access those skills. You can update the knowledge on a client, or you can update some best practices, and everyone in the team can get them, and that's huge. Communication style, a big pro of Claude. Like you don't have to learn how to communicate, hopefully. So you know how to communicate with Claude with natural language. And so I can simply tell Claude, for example, that I need to source a specific lead list with specific criteria, and it just does that. I don't have to learn what are the filters that I have to apply in Clay. I don't have to learn the unique language that in the end Clay has, and that's unique, and it makes it extremely easy to use. And this is probably like these three things are why Claude right now is being spoken so much. Clay, on the other side, what are the strengths of Clay? First of all, order. I really like the order that Clay gives. I think it's difficult to replace, really, because like the thing that you have like in Clay is really control. The columns, how you create the columns and how they intersect each other, you have control over that. And the order that you can give and the order that it follows is unique. There is no interpretation, it just does what it says. And that's really a unique strength. Easy forecasting. Let's say that I have specific cost of each column, cost per enrichment. Let's say that, like, yeah, I want to know times, even if like both are very fast, but mostly it's like a cost, mostly is like output per input that I can know. So I can know, for example, that if like my OpenAI column runs at a specific cost per cell, per enrichment, I know that like my entire table of 50,000 or 40,000, 10,000, I will know how much it costs with almost exact details before running. And that's something that Claude cannot give at the same level of detail, at the same level of control. You can reach something like that with really a strong structure, but it's not as easy as doing it with Clay. It's really like Clay as forecasting is really a big strength. And visible structure, that again is part of the control. I can know exactly what is going on. If there is a problem, I can easily visually understand what's going on and fix that. That with Claude, it's not that straightforward. Like you have to really figure it out. Now let's see the cons of each, because that's interesting. What is, for example, the cons of Claude? Let me just bring this one here so that like visually, like we keep the understanding. So what are like the cons of Claude? Cost in Claude, cost in Claude might skyrocket if you don't really structure it properly. If you don't place like the API keys in the right place, what's gonna happen is that you might have Claude hallucinates, you might have Claude overuse the keys. The first times that we used that, what happened was like we gave it like a lead magic key just for email finding. It was like using it to enrich the domains, to find the LinkedIn profile. It was using it for everything. And basically we spent $600 in one day for something that we would have probably had to spend, I don't know, $10, So yeah, like you can really, cost might skyrocket pretty easily and very fast if you don't structure it well. Might be confusing. Let's say that there is like an issue. Let's say that you're not getting the result right. You don't have really a structure that you can easily look at and clearly, quickly understand. You have to look at the folder, you have to look at the structure, you have to look maybe what's there, you have like to speak with Claude to understand what's going on. It's not that easy. It's not that clear. It may be time consuming. If you don't bypass permission, it's gonna ask you continuously for permissions. Maybe like the first result that it gives, it's wrong. Maybe like it doesn't save the memory. Maybe it saves the memory in local instead than committing to GitHub. So it might be that does things wrongly, if like wrongly set up, and this can be extremely time consuming. To run an easy campaign, we spent at the beginning like one full day of work, 8 hours of work, where with Clay we could have done in 30 minutes. Now, Clay, what are instead the cons of Clay? Clay, as cons, all the updates are manual. So it doesn't happen that, for example, you do one update, like you can tell Clay, hey, update every 2 days. I mean, yeah, there are like now the auto triggers rows and the auto triggers functions, but it's not as strong as Claude. It's more a weakness, I would say, that Clay found a way to kind of absolve some way, but it's still a weakness. It's not a strength. Knowledge is spread. If I work on a table, I can share the table, I can add in our Notion, we have a knowledge base, but yeah, like people still cannot just ask Clay and get the table back. People cannot just get that knowledge automatically, like the knowledge is spread, like and the knowledge, like the people need to get this knowledge on an individual levels. And formats in vertical knowledge. What does it mean? While with Claude, I can communicate like in English, I can communicate in English, I can communicate in Italian, in Spanish, in whatever language. With Clay, I need to know Clay's language. So, I use Clay for 3 years. Of course, I'm a Clay expert and all, but and so I know how to communicate with Clay. For someone new, this is incredibly difficult to do it properly, to do it well. So considering the pros and the cons, it's going to be easier to understand the use cases. Claude, create initial strategy. Like you can speak with that, it can brainstorm with you, you can give it all the documents, the Fireflies recording, the Slack channel, the Gmail communication, the best practices. It's amazing like to brainstorm with you on the initial strategies. Claude, review analytics and give suggestions. Claude is great at being controllable, being very timely. It's great at reviewing the analytics. It's great at giving suggestions based on the analytics and based on the best practices that you give. Something that Clay cannot at all do, right? So every week, for example, our Claude goes into our clients' communication, check the email campaigns, the positive replies, the negative replies, checks additional information that is shared, like Gmail, etc. And it gives us the analytics and gives us suggestions on what to improve. And in the end, Claude can update the campaigns automatically. Once, for example, we have the analytics and with the suggestions, Claude then can, as a consequence, update the campaigns automatically without any human in the loop, except like humans that eventually gives approval for things. I really see this free as like the big strength of Claude, and this is like how we are basically implementing Claude at Kinetica. Now, what are the strengths of Clay? Sophisticated ABM plays. If I have to run a website visitor campaign, a campaign that targets competitors of my client, if I have to do specific campaigns on events, if they have to do inbound lead enrichments, key strategic accounts enrichments, complex connection between enrichments and Salesforce, where we assign the owners, assign the leads to different owners, close lost exchanges, all these type of very sophisticated ABM plays. Clay is the way. I would never use Claude for this because I need control, I need forecasting, I need to see exactly if there is a small problem, how to solve it. And so Clay is the way, it's not Claude. Lead management. If a reply arrive, I really like to see the reply in Clay. I really like to see what are like the processes, the enrichments, the sentiment analysis, the AI qualification, the owner assignation, and then the connection with Salesforce, HubSpot, or like the CRM that is involved that assigns to the right owner in the tool with the right data fields. Again, like this is really nitty gritty. I really need to see the detail. I really need to have control on what's going on there, like at a really tiny level, because if a lead is lost, if a lead is misqualified, if a lead is not correctly assigned, that's a problem. And in the end, repetitive work. Easy, repetitive work, maybe not at scale. It's really great at Clay. You have a great structure when you know that works. Why the hassle of using Claude that might make mistakes, might confuse itself, and you don't see what's happening. When something is working, maybe it's not at scale, you just use Clay, it's repetitive. You add the thing, it just does it work in almost no time, even less than Claude. So yeah, I really, interesting topic right now, Claude versus Clay, what works better than the other, when to use one, when to use the other. Use Claude in some cases, use Clay in others. You can, do the same things with Claude or all with Clay. Using together is like the strongest thing that you can do. Hope this was helpful, guys. If would like to know how we help our clients generate leads and create complex plays, please DM me, and we would be happy, me and David, to walk you through what we do at Kinetica. Thanks a lot, and have a great one. Thank you, guys.